Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Eric and Rob.
Wrestlemania weekend is upon us. The Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. 3GW, the real Big E, Rob the Ambassador. we here. I don't know how good the build has been for you. I guess we'll talk about it briefly here before we get into predictions. But we've obviously had a huge distraction, so that probably played a role as well. But even outside of that, I think the last 6 years, the Mania builds just,
I'm kind of with you. The build for this one has not been that bad. The problem is, I think there's, 14, 15, 16 matches on the card. It's hard to have good builds for each match, but I love the build to Roman and Brock. That whole story they've told about, is Heyman with Brock? Is he with Roman? And then the new dynamic of Roman being the heel and Brock being the face. I've really enjoyed Brock as a face and Roman is awesome as a heel. So I think that one is fine. The Charlotte and Ronda is not so great. I think most of that is on Ronda. And it's not that she's terribly bad. I just think when she talks into the mic, she needs to emote a little more. Her facial expressions and everything are good, but that one has just been okay to me. I like the build with Owens and Stone Cold, even though Stone Cold hasn't been around. I think Owens' promos have been good, and the whole. I don't know if you saw him. Walk out.
That was
with
pretty
the
good, actually. I gotta give it to him.
So some of the bigger matches. Now the whole Seth Rollins thing, I think, is kind of dumb because whoever he's going to wrestle, I think they should have just told us. Yeah, instead of having him wrestle all these matches and lose, and that's dumb. But look, I'm still pumped for it. It's hard not to get pumped for Mania, even when the build isn't the best, because for wrestling fans, this is your Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like with the Seth Rollins thing, we kind of all know who it is, but we just kind of want to see how they're gonna do it. I just hope they don't John Cena this thing like they did with Undertaker at 34, where it was like, we know y'all gonna do it. And y'all got that man sitting in the front row like we're stupid. Like, come on, really?
Yeah, I kind of wish they hadn't have done this whole thing with Cody trying to surprise us, because in this day of social media, you hear everything, you know everything before it happens. And we've all read that Cody is pretty much signed for the past 2 or 3 weeks on Raw. The crowd has been chanting, Cody, Cody, Cody. So for WWE to try to pull this big surprise, I think is just silly.
Yeah. It'll still be cool. It's an interesting dynamic him coming back, though. So we'll probably talk about that after the event and everything. But I don't know if you saw the clip yet, but I seen a clip. Undertaker got a statue, and they revealed it today. I guess they're down in Dallas at the, I guess fan access, and they revealed the statue. Triple H and Shawn Michaels were there. It's pretty cool. So they're going all out, and tomorrow night, I guess they gotta come straight home from work and get into SmackDown and get into the Hall of Fame, get into Mania weekend mode. I'm trying not to, this is, put this out here now. This was a generous birthday gift from the ambassador himself. Legends are born in March, and we were both born in March. So,
well, actually, your mom came up with the idea for that, and I said, "Well, where's mine?" I'm hoping I'll get one next year. Apparently, she doesn't think I'm a legend because I don't have one of those.
Well, we'll work that out somehow. We'll hook you up.
All right.
So, what else? There was one more thing. Mania. my mind. Like if it comes back during the predictions, I'll mention it.
Yeah. And just as a quick aside, I did see the footage that you're talking about. I watched it. I reacted to it a little bit ago in our group chat. Very nice moment. Triple H there and Shawn Michaels. I guess maybe we'll get a chance to talk about Triple H. I don't know if we have talked about that yet.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the news this week.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, let's get into that at the end. All right. Night 1, Saturday, April 2nd. So we got the Usos, Jimmy and Jay versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. As much as I love, Shinsuke and Boogs. Well, I shouldn't say Boogs. I'm warming up to Boogs. I know the crowd loves him, but I'm still kind of getting used to him. And I hate seeing Nakamura lose here, but I don't know if it'd be telling or not for the Usos to win or lose, but I don't think losing to these two would fare well. And you know what though? It just might make Roman snap the fact that they lost, but I'm still gonna go the safe route and say the Usos retain.
Yeah, this is a tough one because when we're talking about Mania, I'm looking at the card and I'm thinking, okay, which titles do I think are going to change hands? Because it's Mania. So almost certainly at least one of them will.
Mm-hmm.
And without getting too far ahead of our predictions, I don't see a lot of opportunity for titles to change. But this is one where I do. Boogs and Shinsuke are kind of over with this gimmick of theirs. So I could see them putting the straps on them. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and predict that. I'm gonna say that Boogs and Shinsuke get over. The Usos are made men, and even if they lose, I don't think that I think they'll have at least a couple of more title runs. But like you said, this would give Roman a reason to kind of be pissed off and kind of go at them like he's done in the past when they've underachieved. So yeah, I'm gonna say Boogs and Shinsuke get over and become new SmackDown tag team champs.
Man, the late great MJ Book predicted this shit was gonna happen, and I can't believe it's actually happening. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss. It might as well be a handicap match. And man, just why? I understand that you can't be in the main event every WrestleMania. Bobby Lashley not in the main event this year. Him and Drew not in the main event. There's been times where Triple H wasn't in the main event. Austin, Rock, they did other things. But it never felt pointless and so predictable. Drew McIntyre has had no problem with these two guys, these two idiots, since the Rumble. He's been beating them both. So why is this a Mania match? And I want to see this end. So I'm begging, pleading Drew McIntyre, please do a double Claymore and kick both of their heads off and send them into oblivion. Yes, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I'm going Drew McIntyre. They're building this matchup, trying to make it seem like Corbin is spectacular, saying since he's hit it big with this money, he's undefeated. I mean, well, okay, first of all, who has he ever really wrestled?
Ain't been wrestling.
Exactly. So why even, come on. If McIntyre loses this match, then we know WWE is through treating him as a primetime player.
He can't. Yeah, so he lost last year.
Right.
He can't lose this year.
Yeah, he's got to win, and it should be a convincing win. It shouldn't even be much of a contest. But with the obvious outside interference from Riddick Moss, it'll make it look more difficult than it is. But it should be an easy win for McIntyre, and I think it will be.
Man, they threw all the tag team matches on night 1. I didn't even know this was a match. The New Day, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland with, with Butch.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna say New Day wins because of all the controversy with Ridge Holland breaking Big E's neck, and that's not hyperbole. He literally broke that man's neck, and yeah, I'm gonna say baby faces win. You know, maybe Butch gets involved, aka Pete Dunne, tries to snap a few fingers here and there, but no, I'm gonna say New Day. New Day wins, and maybe we even get a cameo from not live in person, but maybe on screen or something backstage. Big E is he'll make an appearance, but yeah, New Day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go New Day. And I noticed they don't call him King Woods anymore since he returned. He's just back to being Xavier. Now he was wearing the crown last week on SmackDown, but they just didn't address him as King Woods. But maybe that's no big deal. But yeah, I'm gonna say they win. I think Big E will be at Mania. I don't think he's gonna take any bumps, but maybe he'll be on the pre-show, sitting on the panel or something for a little bit. Everybody loves Big E, and I think he wants to be there. I think he'll be there in person in some way, shape, or form, but he won't take any bumps at all. I think that's clear.
Oh yeah, nah, not with that.
No, they don't mess with that.
Here goes some more shit. Okay, the Mysterios, Rey and Dominik versus The Miz and Logan Paul. Now, I don't think this could be trash. Now, I'm not gonna say that. It's just my care factor is at the bottom. Like I don't care. I would have rather this WrestleMania. I would have rather seen Rey versus Dominik, even if there was no heated, rivalry or anything like that, father-son rivalry. Well, let's just see who's better. Maybe Dominik, just was like, I want to face you at WrestleMania, Dad. I don't know how many years you got left. Let's make history. Let's go at it at Mania and let the best man win. This shit. But I have a sneaky feeling that there's going to be some shenanigans and Logan Paul and Miz are going to get the win. I just have a feeling.
Man, it wouldn't shock me. It just seems like they always have Miz in these position and in these types of matches for him to lose. It just seems like that's the role where they think he fits. Ah, man. Look, we got a lot of matches to predict. I'm going to say the Mysterios win just because Miz always seems to lose his big matches. So why should that trend change? Yeah.
Now, I just realized this. I think this is a mistake. They put both women's championship matches on night one. That's a mistake. But let's get into the first one. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. And we all saw this past week. Bianca was threatened with a big ass set of scissors. Where the hell did y'all find these scissors at? From the set of Us.
Oh yeah.
And Becky was threatening to cut the braid, and everybody's freaking out, which threw me for a loop because it was like, didn't y'all watch the documentary where she says she makes the braid herself? It's not her actual hair. Nobody's hair is actually 6 feet long. Okay, come on.
No, I mean, you'd have to be, to me, kind of an idiot to think that was her actual hair.
Yeah, come on. But I like the dynamic of she actually cut Becky Lynch's real hair. Like that was her real hair. And I was like, whoa, okay, all right. And then there's a video out there now circulating of Becky with a new hairstyle. It's not so short, like it's not like a huge drastic change. She's kind of cleaned it up a little bit. But
haven't seen that.
This match, it's hard to say because I know with the SummerSlam controversy, the way Becky came back and then how she kind of run a rough shot. To me, what would make sense is if you're gonna have this be these two have a legendary feud, Bianca has to win here again because again I'm building stars. She did win last year in a great match against Sasha, but we're talking Becky, Sasha. Okay, so beating Becky, that's a huge deal. So like you say, it's WrestleMania. Somebody got to lose their championship. So I'm gonna say that Bianca gets over here in a hard fought victory, and the feud will continue at WrestleMania Backlash, and that's how you keep it going. But yeah, I'm going Bianca.
Yeah, this is a tough call. Monday Night Raw is going to be coming to Des Moines, and they've already listed some of the matches that are going to be on the card. Now, if the matches play out the way that they're advertised for the upcoming show at the end of May, they're already telling at least people here in Des Moines some of the results of these matches, this being one of them. But I'm not going to make my predictions based on that because, card subject to change. So, man, but as much as I want to believe Bianca will win, because she's over. I mean, I think like you, I think it would be great if she did. Great rivalry. These two, I'm enjoying this rivalry between these two.
Yeah, it's
this is a tough one. Tough one.
It is because it's like at the same time we just had I guess wrestling logic, right? So kind of the babyface got over on Raw, and she did all that stuff to Becky. So you would think going in pay-per-view that Becky would come out victorious, and that usually it's the heel getting the best of the babyface going into the pay-per-view, and then the babyface having to overcome and all that stuff. I guess the thing, if this is a trend that they're trying to do now with, having babyfaces be cool babyfaces, not just, I have to be honorable. I won't cut your hair. Let me throw these scissors away. No, be a cool babyface. Do cool shit. That's what the people wanted you to do.
Right. Well, I'm going to say Becky retains. Not because I wanted to. I just don't think they're done with her being champion yet. But man, that's a tough one to call.
It is. All right. And we were just talking about this. Seth Rollins versus to be determined, the name that should not be spoken yet. I think whoever he faces will beat him because it'll be their first match back in WWE in a long time. And I think he'll get the W, and they'll probably continue this feud as well. Whoever he's going to face is going to be a good feud. So, but yeah, Rollins is going to take the L out the gate.
Man, it's funny because I heard something today, and it could all be a swerve, that the person we think is going to return may not be fully committed. They may not have him all signed, sealed, and delivered, and that there is another wrestler who's going to be in Dallas who could also be the surprise guest. I think they're just trying to swerve us because they know that the word is out on who it actually is going to be. But like you said, with the person who we all believe it's going to be making their big return, I think it would just look, I don't think Seth should lose to this person, but it's wrestling. So we know what we're talking about here. So I'm going to say, the unspoken opponent will beat Seth, but the feud will continue.
I'm sure you enjoyed that segment on Raw.
Office visits. Oh yeah. Man, you did too. You might not want to admit it, but you did too.
It was the thing I liked the most about it is that he was this close to breaking Vince, Vince almost broke character on TV. That's how good he. So it may not be my cup of tea, the suits and all that stuff, but I had to acknowledge, no pun intended, had to acknowledge when, somebody's doing a great job at their craft, and he is.
Yeah.
He really is. All right. Last but not least, for night one, the person that you and Book call the GOAT currently, modern day, not all time, but just modern day, the best to do it right now, checking all those boxes. Charlotte Flair defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey, the baddest woman on the planet. Just had a baby less than I guess it's been about 6 months now. 6 months ago, and is back in the ring, ready to go, ready to roll. This is yet again another hard one to predict because I don't know Ronda Rousey's status. I don't know if this is hey, we need to fill up the stadium 2 nights in a row, even though y'all put both women's matches on the same night, which is, again, stupid. Or if she's back, because, well, I had a kid and I need some income, even though she's worth a lot of money as it is, but you don't want to blow through that either. So I'm gonna guess she's gonna be around at least for the next 6 months to SummerSlam. I would venture a guess.
I think she's back for, I don't want to say the long haul, but I think it's more than just a 1 or 2 off thing. I think she's going to be around for a little while.
Yeah. That, and man, this is tough because I know that there's a story with this, and I saw the little mini video they did on YouTube with Charlotte, and she's talking about her history, her legacy, and what WrestleMania means to her, what it meant to her to win the championship at 32. And man, it's tough. It really is. I'm a fan. Look, I'm a fan of both. I like Charlotte. I do.
Sure.
Her in ring is top notch bar none. Her promos are top notch bar none. Outfits, top notch.
Hey.
So, but I don't know what it is. I just love Ronda. I love Ronda, and I don't think she can take 2 L's at WrestleMania. So I gotta say, at least for now, Ronda Rousey is gonna walk out SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think Ronda will win. Look, I believe that WWE, if anyone is going to break Ric Flair's record, it's going to be his daughter Charlotte. Okay, yeah. Cena tied it but didn't break it. Triple H got 14. He came close. I think Randy Orton is at 13. I don't see him ever breaking it. But I think Charlotte is young enough, and I think that's what they want to do. So in order for that to happen, she's going to have to lose the title a few more times. And losing it to Ronda Rousey, even though I think Charlotte is better than her, it's not a bad look, being that Ronda, because of her MMA history, can claim to be the baddest woman on the planet. And I think she's good in the wrestling ring as well. So, yeah, I think Charlotte will lose, but I don't think this is the last we've seen of these two.
No, it seems to be a running thing. I think it's hard to say we're going to see the last of any of these, hopefully, except, with the exception of Drew and Corbin. Like, get rid of that shit.
Yeah. Just get rid of Corbin, period.
Yeah, man. I think even though night one has more tag team matches and for more matches that we don't care about as much, the 2 women's matches are very intriguing because you really don't know. Like, there's been no tipping of the scale to say, well, this is what's going to happen afterwards in either match. And I think that obviously Becky and Bianca had a better build. They got physical, and I mean, you cut somebody's hair. I mean, that's especially a woman, and talking about women in hair, and then the whole Chris Rock Will Smith thing. It's just, you know,
oh, man. Slap heard around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Seen around the world.
All right. So that brings us tonight. Dos.
Yeah, we can't really predict the Owens Stone Cold thing. I mean, I think we can.
Oh, it wasn't a match,
right?
So I can't really.
Yeah, I mean, we can predict Stone Cold will stun.
Kevin Even though Owens I did hear somebody say something interesting. They like Saturday they could do the KO show, and Austin could provoke him. He could challenge him for a match on Sunday. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't even speak that into existence.
And if Stone Cold was going to do a match, they would announce that so they could sell 1 million tickets.
Yeah, I mean, unless they feel like, you know, night one they look around the arena and they go, man, it's not that full. I mean, hey man, you got your shit. You got to put them boots on, brother.
Based on what I read, they've sold for both nights upwards of about 60,000 tickets. Now they obviously didn't sell as many as they wanted because from what I've read, they've configured the stadium to hold about 65,000. So they're gonna.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff tarped off.
Right. Because we know that stadium holds 100,000 people.
Yeah, they didn't have a problem the first time because it was only one night.
Right, exactly. And you know, you had The Rock hosting, so
yeah, The Rock was there. Yeah, that was a rough Mania because they had a lot of injuries. Randy Orton couldn't wrestle. Seth Rollins couldn't wrestle.
Yeah.
You know, Triple H had to step up at the last minute. Yeah. All right. Not two. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn in an anything goes match. Now, I know you were not a fan of the movie No Holds Barred, but this has that kind of shit written all over it. Now, I get it. Johnny Knoxville is Mr. Jackass, so he's up for doing spots and everything, so that could be fun. But I'm skeptical, to say the least. But I will give it a fair shot. If it's good or great, I will grade it accordingly.
Oh, sure. We keep it real. So that's what we do.
And I have to keep in mind, Johnny Knoxville not a wrestler, but again, that ain't gonna matter if it's some shit.
Right.
But I will. You know how these things go. When a celebrity comes to Mania, they don't lose. So I'm gonna say Johnny Knoxville.
I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to say Johnny Knoxville for the exact same reason. Typically, when they bring a celebrity in, the celebrity wins. I can't think of a celebrity I've seen lose. Maybe there's been one or two, but for the most part, celebrity always wins. So that's what I'm going with.
Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. I actually am looking forward to this match because you got a young, up-and-coming Austin Theory who Vince believes in. You can, how do you feel about that? And Pat McAfee, who has never disappointed in the ring. He's been great.
Yeah, but he's only wrestled one match, right?
No, two. He did one versus Cole, and he was also in the War Games match.
Oh, that's right.
He jumped off the top of the cage.
Yeah, that's right. I forget. Yeah, how can I forget? Yeah. You're right. You're right.
I'm not worried about this match. I actually am curious, the good kind of curious, to see how this goes. But I am going to give the nod to Austin Theory. You're not going to give a ring announcer a win over an actual wrestler. I would hope.
I would hope not either. I'm going to pick Theory. And I don't know if you would consider him a real wrestler, but I believe Michael Cole defeated Jerry the King Lawler at Mania once.
Yeah, that we
Just saying.
another retro that would never happen. All right. The Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. You got Queen Zelina and Carmella versus Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler. Why did they break up Natalya from Tamina?
Well, so Tamina could get with Tozawa.
All this bullshit. People proposing on Raw. I ain't never seen this much kissing and making out on wrestling in 20 years.
Man, it's ridiculous. But I have to say, Tozawa's facial expressions and stuff, he makes me laugh. He's the only good thing about that whole storyline. His facial expressions and how he talks and his eyes get all big. That cracks me up.
Well, I'll give you props, sir. You said good thing about that with a straight face. So kudos to you.
Hey.
I'm gonna go with the sisters on this. I'm gonna say Sasha Banks and Naomi. Because to my knowledge, I don't believe Sasha Banks has ever won at WrestleMania. So I'm gonna say those two.
Man, I lean towards Rhea and Liv because they have to do something with these two. Both Naomi and Sasha have been world title holders. They're made women. But people like Rhea and Liv are still trying to scratch and crawl their way to something. And they finally got Rhea away from Nikki ASH, and I thought that was the end of her tag team days, but now they've teamed her up with Liv, I'm guessing because they believe in both of these women, but not enough to make them singles world champions, but maybe they think they're worthy enough to be tag team champions. So I'm going to say that they'll win.
Okay. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. A triple threat tag team. I guess I lied. They did not put all the tag team matches on night one. Triple threat tag team match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. Have there been this many tag team championship matches at WrestleMania?
I didn't know they had, man, I forgot they had this many damn tag teams in WWE, to be honest. I mean, yeah, there's a whole bunch on the card.
You don't have the Intercontinental or the U.S. champ on the card at all.
Oh.
Just saying.
Okay. All right, well.
Yeah, Ricochet, Finn Balor.
Yeah, man, ridiculous.
Even with 2 nights, couldn't.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was just saying, even with 2 nights, couldn't squeeze all of your championship matches on the card.
Yeah, no. We gotta have Johnny Knoxville, man. we gotta have Logan Paul. We gotta make room for them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, 2 guys are gonna disappear after WrestleMania.
Right.
So RK Bro versus Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Who are even the damn champs right now?
RK Bro.
Oh, they are.
They are. They won them back.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Alpha Academy is going to win at WrestleMania and get a moment.
That's interesting. So since we're talking about it, I referenced the Monday Night Raw card that's coming to Des Moines, and they say that Alpha Academy are the champs, and they're going to take on RK Bro at that show. So I'm interested to see if that's how it plays out. Now, as far as my prediction, man, this RK Bro thing is still over. I keep waiting to see Randy turn on him, give him an RKO from out of nowhere. Maybe it happens Sunday, but I don't think so. And I'm going to say that RK Bro retains.
All right. Now this is a match. This right here gonna steal the whole weekend.
Oh,
it has to.
I know where you're going.
It has to. We need this. AJ versus Edge AJ needs to redeem himself from 34. We thought him and Shinsuke was going to steal the show, and it ended up being one of the worst things on the show.
Yeah.
So this match has to deliver. I believe it will. Kudos to Edge, changing the character, being the heel, and all of that. And it's tough to do when you're when you first come back. You're kind of a nostalgia act, and then now you're around more often. So now you can go into changing your character up because you have to. Over the years, you have to reinvent yourself. Chris Jericho is probably the best at it. I don't have I want to say I don't have a dog in the race, but I kind of do, but I kind of don't because I like them both. I mean, AJ is going to be a Hall of Famer. Edge already is a Hall of Famer. I guess I just lean slightly, ever so slightly, towards AJ. I'm going to say AJ Styles gets the win in the best match on the weekend because I think he took the L last year at Mania, if I'm not mistaken. And
didn't he wasn't him and almost tag team champions?
Yeah, him and Almost.
They lost. If I remember correctly.
I'm going to say AJ. AJ.
Yeah, I think AJ needs the win, and he needs to reestablish himself. Look, we talked about Charlotte and why I think she's the greatest wrestler in the world today. AJ held that title, but getting him mixed up with Almost just really took away from him. We just didn't see the great AJ Styles, like we would see in a singles match. This is a chance for him to remind us of just how great of a ring technician he is. And he has a great dance partner in Edge. Like you, I've enjoyed the heel turn by Edge. Edge is just such a great performer in the ring, not just his wrestling ability, but his ability to be either a face or a heel. He does them both very well. But this match, I think, will be great. I think it will steal the show. I'll say it'll definitely steal the show Sunday night, probably steal the whole weekend. But I do think AJ will win and start to reestablish himself as maybe the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah, I would love. Oh my God, I can't talk about it yet. We'll get to it. This is the match I need to see. But yeah. Speaking of Omos, had a run-in with the returning badass Bobby Lashley, the Almighty. And I gotta say though, I've watched Bobby Lashley since 2006, and literally everybody he's gotten in the ring with, all of them, he's dwarfed. Maybe except Brock. They're about the same, equal, maybe no. Lashley's more jacked. That's not a question, but they're about the same size. Omos made Lashley look small.
He did.
And Lashley, let me reiterate this, is a very large man.
Right. He looked like he leaned out a little bit, or maybe that's just how he looked compared to Almost. But man, I was shocked when he got into the ring and they stood face to face, how much bigger Almost was than him.
Like we ain't talking about just like muscle. He's just a bigger human being.
Yeah.
Than Bobby Lashley. And go look at Bobby Lashley. If you saw Bobby Lashley at the airport, you would think he's a freak of nature. Like, what is that? And Omos made him look small.
He did.
I think the young buck got to earn them stripes, you know what I mean? The only way I could see Omos winning is if Lashley hasn't had surgery yet and they use this as an angle for him to go off and have that surgery. But he's been gone for a while. since Elimination Chamber. So I think he's had time to have that surgery and come back, because it wasn't like a huge ordeal. It was just like, I think, a brief, like maybe just been like the scope, maybe some cleanup, something minor, because it was really only due to the bumps he took, excuse me, at the Rumble wrestling Brock. Other than that, Lashley gonna win somehow, some way. He's gonna spear. It might take 3 or 4 spears to take down Omos. I don't see him picking him up, or maybe I don't even. If he puts him in the hurt lock, that'd be impressive.
Man, yeah, that would be. I don't see how he can do that.
I don't see how he could.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
because he'd have to reach up so far. How effective would the hold be?
Towering over Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is 6'3", and Omos is 7 feet tall. So I don't think it's gonna be no hurt lock. It might not even be a finish, but I'm still gonna get the win to Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, this is tough because the way they've been building Omos up, it's like they want to keep him undefeated. Omos has improved. He's better than the great Khali ever was.
Oh yeah.
And I think he's getting better. So I'm still going to say Bobby though. Bobby got a big pop when he returned.
Huge.
And I think he's wrestled Brock. He's despite what Book used to call him, he's not mid-card Bobby anymore. He's a top-card Bobby. So I'm going to say he wins. And then Omos will take his first loss. But, they've got big plans for Omos, so no big deal.
I think Book actually, on one of our last shows with him, I think he actually acknowledged that, Bobby was, main event status. He never came out and gloated or nothing like that. But
nah.
I think he kind of came around like, okay, I can't really ignore it now. He is kind of, in there. But last but certainly not least, the main event, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, going against the Beast, Brock Lesnar, Country Brock, on his own, living his best life. I'm hoping this is a knockdown, drag out, and I hope that they do like they've done in the past sometimes with a main event and just say, you know what, this is going to be no disqualification. One of y'all has to beat the other. That's the only way we're doing this unification. And I'm glad they're doing unification because I'm tired of having 2 championships. I know you are. So
hopefully they stick with it. Hopefully.
In the spirit of, again, solidifying Roman as the man in wrestling, I feel like he has to win. And because also he's never beaten Brock at WrestleMania, as he has stated. And that promo he cut on Monday, wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, talking about 34, when you had me bloody, you cut me here, and I was blood in my eyes, and I couldn't see my family. My dad was ashamed of me, and this and that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he's just every promo, he just gets so into it now. Whereas 2 years ago, he'd have been, they'd have wrote something for him and he'd have messed it up somehow. This is just a completely different character. And I'm so glad they did not Hulk Hogan or John Cena this man. Just sticking with him being a babyface. The crowd loves him now. He's a heel. And people are digging Brock too. But everywhere they go, people holding up that one. So, but he has to be the one to take us into the future. So I'm going with the big dog, Tribal Chief. He's in God mode. Roman Reigns.
Man, for everything you said, 100% I agree. It's got to be Roman. They have to have him get over on Brock. They have to establish that Roman Reigns is the future, that Brock still a legend, and I'm sure he's going to be around every once in a while, but he is the past. Roman is that dude now. We all said it. No-brainer booking. When they saw it wasn't working with him as a face, instead of trying to cram it down our face, they should have just turned him heel. But look, eventually they did. And
his
wow.
idea.
Yeah, exactly. And now look. So yeah, Roman Reigns, I believe, will win, and he should win. He should win. Roman is that dude now, and they need to make that clear. And what I think will be a good match, it could be borderline brutal. The only worry is if they do go no disqualification, then you leave it open to the Usos interfering, something. Maybe they interfere anyway, but I would like to see Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar convincing and clean to truly establish him as the guy right now.
Well, I'm not going to go that far to say how it's going to go, clean and dirty, But I think at the end of the night, he'll be standing tall. I think that's how it's going to go. And I don't think it's going to be without bloodshed. I think there will be some bloodshed because what happened at Madison Square Garden. So
I agree.
However it goes out, it's going to be knocked down, drag out. We in Texas, it's got to go off the air the right way.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Those are the predictions. WrestleMania. Now, I know NXT Stand and Deliver is Saturday during the day. Unfortunately for me, I have to work. I try to get the day off, then work out for me. So that will probably end up being a after Mania show, or we might even, we might even just like kind of briefly recap Stand and Deliver and just do a quick grade of those matches, not even give it its own show, just because I know neither one of us has really been dedicated to watching NXT 2.0, so it's a little hard to dedicate any kind of amount of time to that. But if you all want us to dedicate the show to it, but that'll be the way we do it. And but for right now, we'll just throw our grades out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you check us out. We just put up another Trying to Laugh, the Farting Preacher, Kenneth Copeland. That one is and thank y'all for watching. They got a lot of views right away. And I can't even tell you how much we appreciate it. The views, the likes, the comments, keep them coming. Miguel Benitez, and that's another recommendation. So we're going to do that one. That'll be the next one we do. Probably next week. We want to kind of space them out a little bit. We don't want to run out of Farting Preacher. Y'all love them, so we want to keep going. And it's WrestleMania weekend. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And we also are going to we're taking it back with WrestleMania 10. Every year we do a WrestleMania retro. So that is the retro for this year, WrestleMania 10. I only have like 2 more matches left to watch. And we'll be doing that'll get its own show as well. And make sure you follow us on all your socials, Twitter, Instagram. You can listen to us on the podcast version, audio versions. All your favorite platforms, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, we're available. So, yep. Ambassador.
All right, listeners, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we want to hear from you. Thank you, Miguel. We heard from Miguel, and we're going to do a show. That's how we do. So, look, listeners, if we hear from you, we're going to do the show.
Yep.
So we appreciate that. I also want to say that the great Triple H retired from in-ring competition this week. And I mean, I think it goes without saying that he is one of the greatest of all time. He had a terrible health scare, and I'm sure that went into this decision, but we definitely want to pay our tributes and respect to him. What a great wrestler in the ring and a great ambassador and trainer outside the ring. He built NXT into what it was. Sadly, they've torn it all down. But his mark on this business his legacy is solidified.
Agreed, 100%. And I can't wait for him to get his own induction into the Hall of Fame. Now with DX, now with Evolution, his own induction by himself.
It should happen next year. They shouldn't wait. It should happen next year.
It should. All right, everybody. Take care. Thanks for watching. And we will speak to y'all again in a couple of days. Enjoy WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.